Okay, uh, I want to talk about a guy that I met. I haven't met a guy that I'm going to meet in the future. His name is Pastor Mike. I think they call him Icy Mike from Main Street. I know he's an ex-gang member. I know he's a pastor, and I know that Jesus said that I didn't come to be served. I came to serve. And one of the reasons I want to talk about this guy as being a servant is because for the last week I've been seeing Crip funeral. I seen him officiate a do the eulogy. I seen him do the funeral. I seen the outcome of the funeral. I also have footage of the funeral that I put on the site that did 100,000. And I just wanted to bring light to this guy, one of the shepherds of LA. It says the bishop is for the battered and the shepherd is for the shattered. I just want to bring a light on this guy that goes out to the public and perform miracles. He's a chief apostle, and I see him perform miracles, and I see him perform funerals. And a lot of pastors, they don't really like to do funerals of gang members. And I see that this guy did over 500 funerals in Los Angeles. All we used to hear about him and his brothers. But today I want to talk about Pastor Mike. The other day I was showing people the clips of the funeral when they was sending Crip Jackie off to the second life. And I noticed that this guy is kind of special into the ministry. And I seen that he's a servant of God. And I seen that he's consistent. And I seen that he's a go-getter. And I seen him do I heard he did a funeral of one of my homies named Tone Bone. I always heard that this guy had his own ministry and he had a church. Now, when I was in Atwater, I was talking to this young guy from the Valley. I think he was from Valley Gangsta Crip. And he was telling me that he met Pastor Mike and a girl from his neighborhood took him to the church in LA, and she wanted this young guy just to see this man preach. She just wanted to see a guy that used to be ex-gang member. His family was in the gangs with him. And she wanted this guy if she said, if I can only just get you to come to church one time and see this guy, Pastor Mike, preach or teach or whatever he was doing in the church, that I think that you would change your life. You would look up to God and you would understand ministry. So the young guy was telling me that Mike did a sermon, and after the sermon, he did, this young guy said he was sitting in the church, and he didn't really understand that the Holy Spirit had hit him, and he told me that after Mike preached, Mike told him, look, man, I didn't start off like this. It's not where you start. It's not where you start. It's where you finish. And he told a young brother, he said, I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know that somebody out there that this message would hit. And the young man told me the message hit him. But he said at the end of the sermon that he didn't know that Pastor Mike that used to be a gang member. And he said that the only way he found out that he knew Mike was a gang member is when Mike told him he was an ex-gang member. But Mike was just giving a little testimony that night. And he said that that's how he found out Mike was a gang member. And for this young man to expound on a man that it says you only can be a man when you see a man, to even try to articulate the words that came to him in that church that night to tell me, an older guy that was in the word, how he heard this guy and how he would like me to go to the church one day, and how he was trying to explain to me how he felt that night at that church, and how the lady that took him on the way home, they got something to eat, and they was talking about how blessed this guy was and how the young man would come back one day. But one thing about this young guy, he was telling me about a man that he really didn't know. He just heard about. He found out that night, and he was trying to explain to me why I was doing the right thing on inside of prison, and he was explaining to me in a way that I said that I have to meet this guy. I know I had been into the ministry for a while. I know I had been doing things in the church and doing things in prison, but when he explained that this guy is a special guy, this guy has a special talent, and this guy is a preacher out of South Central Los Angeles, and he told me about the church. He told me about the guy's brothers, his wife, and his other thing, and he explained to me that this guy is special. And not only that, I really wanted to run into some pastors in LA. I really wanted to run into some guys that was in the same field that I was in. And he was telling me about Mike, and I also heard about a lady named Juanita that's have her own ministry too. I heard the Big One Punch was into the ministry. I didn't heard about a lot of guys in the ministry, but not only did I heard of guys, but I actually seen this guy that this guy was telling me about uh, on video, and I've been getting pictures from Slim from 90. But you know what's so funny about telling this story is I was in the feds with Slim from 90. And Slim had a way of calling people, weirdos and saying different things about people. But I never seen Slim go to church. I never seen Slim, participate in church. I never seen him really talk bad about Christians, but I never knew that Slim was into the church. So one day a guy, I got my life sentence off, and I had heard that a guy told me that he said, man, I went to the Loft. A guy named Loft told me, say, Fish, I went to dinner last night with Slim, him and his wife, and Slim was trying to convince me to come to church, come to my church. And he said, man, Slim is a man of God. Slim have been converted to Christianity, and Slim is a Christian. He say, Fish, that same Slim that used to be fighting in jail all the time, the same Slim that used to be playing basketball, the same Slim that was always throwing up the hood. He was a gang member, and everybody knew he was a gang member. He said that Slim is into the Lord now, and then when he told me, I couldn't believe that Slim had got out and started being into the ministry, because I told Loft, I said, give me his number. I called Slim. I say, man, what's going on? He said, who is this? I say, this is Ronald Fisher. Slim say, what made you call me? I say, well, Loft told me that you're a Christian now, and I've always been a Christian. And he told me that you've been a servant of God, and that you going to the church, the homies church, and you working in the church, and you doing different things. And I just wanted to call you and let you know that God told me to call you and let you know that you're doing the right thing. And I just wanted to hear it for myself that you is a Christian now. And Slim was like, yes, I am. I work for the church. I'm an I'm a deacon, whatever in the church for Mike. And Mike is a chief apostle, and Mike is a pastor of this church. And Mike always, let me get a little testimony in. And I was thinking about this guy that Slim worked for now. I had heard about him, and now I have a friend that works for him. And maybe one day I'll be able to come to the church and meet Mike, or I might even ask Slim to maybe we can hook up a FaceTime call to meet this guy. But I really have to meet this guy. I really want to meet Mike, and I really want to hear some of his messages and hear what he do, because not only that a young Crip told me about Mike, and also Slim always telling me about Mike. He always telling me about his sermons. He always telling me about how his wife sing him, and Slim wife sing. And I just wanted to be able to meet this apostle, chief apostle. I want to be able to meet this pastor, this servant, because I know right now he's a servant of God, and I see him on the ministry, and I see him on the video, and I'm ready to meet him when I do have to be able to come back to LA. God bless you, Brother Mike.